I am Jay, what's good? Wendy Williams. I had nightmares last night. I watched it. I watched the whole thing. 1, 2, 3. Wendy Williams has said terrible things about me. At one time in my life, she would say whatever she wanted. You know, that's what she did. She invented the clout talk, where you talked and it was shock jock, and she taught a lot of people, man. And so now we seen this documentary. When we didn't see the documentary, and I talked to different artists about her, pretty much their perception was, yo, it's karma. Because she used to talk about everybody. Real talk. And before she got sick or whatever the case may be, I found a way in my heart, because Jesus forgave, to forgive Wendy Williams and become cool with her. Now, Joe, but you haven't forgiven her. If you never robbed me, if you never stole money, my wife, my arch enemy, I can find a way to forgive you. I will forgive you. And so talk is cheap. So what they talking about and what she used to talk about didn't mean much to me. But there's some people that will take it to the grave. Now, it's one of the saddest things I ever seen, right? But what this means, though, right? Somebody who's so famous, somebody who built an empire, because Wendy Williams owned her own show. She had her own production company. In fact, this documentary is under her production company. Her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., was executive producer. Now, this show, documentary, it's all transparency. And so when you're an artist, when you're a public figure, when you're famous like that, our lives become of service to the people. Our lives become of service to the people. And I would figure that her family and Wendy wanted this aired so we could learn either from her mistakes or be in a similar situation, or just learn periodly. So my mother, she caught cancer from smoking. My father caught emphysema. That's why I never smoked a cigarette in my life. My brother, we know he had drug problems. I never used drugs in my life. And so what happens is sometimes we got to see it to believe it. We got to see other people go through something so we can know we don't want that in our life, or we don't want that to be a part of our life. And so, although that was ugly, it was a learning experience, at least for me. And so I couldn't sleep because I said, man, could they do this to my family? If I got in an accident, if I got Alzheimer's, could they tell my daughter she's not privy to my money? Could they tell my family that? And so Wendy has a loving, bonding family. Her sister went on there and said, look, we don't even want the money. If that's what y'all worried about, y'all want to keep the money, we don't even want the money. You know what's crazy is my sister died. My sister was giving birth. And she got into a coma because the epidural went from the waist up.
I welcome you guys back on here. If you're new, consider subscribing, liking, and also share this video. Now, it's been, a lot of speculation ever since Wendy Williams left the spotlight. Actually, it's almost 3 years ago. And of course, this is the time when she even said her last, "How are you doing on TV?" That was her common and usual trademark. And ever since the lady who had a larger than life personality. And of course, in that period, she has remained quiet and a lot has happened. So right now we are seeing a very disturbing documentary, Where is Wendy Williams? That was actually made just that was released on 24th, just a couple of days ago. Today's what? 20 today's, by the time I'm recording this, it's 28th. Yes. So it was released on 24th February. That's the date when they released that documentary of Where is Wendy Williams. But for me, my take on this whole situation and drama that is surrounding, Wendy Williams, it's really very heartbreaking and gut wrenching when you look through the images, when you look through some of the footage that was recorded at a time. You can sit down and really shed tears because, man, the situation is really dire. She looks totally broken down physically, mentally, and of course, even spiritually. Of course, a couple of netizens had come out and said, like it's like she has demons and stuff like that that actually influenced her, to get into that kind of situation that is, alcohol induced. And of course, some are saying that she has been tormented by the spirit. And of course, it's no wonder that she's suffering with a couple of issues, dementia, aphasia. And I was looking through the images of her feet. My God, very disturbing images. They said she's having an issue called lymphedemia. That issue actually affects the feet and becomes a bit swollen, with a bit of wrinkles and stuff like that. So they are really disturbing images and, footage. If you happen to look at that documentary, I encourage you to check it out. It's all over social media right about now. So we saw the niece actually coming out and say that the family actually have no access to Wendy in this exact moment in time, because we all know there was a court order that actually created a legal guardian that is supposed to take care of her. And the family, for them, they're saying, these people, the legal guardians, they're just using Wendy Williams. No wonder even they had to publish this documentary that actually exposes the bad condition in which Wendy Williams is going through. They're only concerned about money. They released a couple of snippets of footage before 24th, and it was all a marketing ploy. And then the executive producer came out and said, they did know that Wendy was suffering with aphasia by the time they were shooting that. But when you happen to look through the images and the footage and the whole documentary, indeed, if you have feelings, if you really loved and enjoyed Wendy Williams, you wouldn't wish whatever she's going through to anyone. It's really a very tough situation. So many people are still coming out, to react on that documentary. We saw Fat Joe also coming out, because remember, Fat Joe has always been connected and very close to Wendy Williams. So he came out and, reacted in whatever way he reacted, like it was also like many of us saying that the situation in which Wendy Williams is in is really dire and very, very tough. So we are just praying, continuing to send our prayers, because like the doctors, what they were saying, that her issue, like the dementia and aphasia, it's the same kind of issue in which Bruce Willis is actually going through right about now. So we are continuing to send our prayers, our messages of, messages of prayers, and of course praying for the family, the fans, and everyone who really loved Wendy Williams.